Hello and welcome back to the Geometrist plays Enter the Gungeon. I'm gonna level with you guys. The hegemony credits are higher because there was a run that lasted like 10-15 minutes that happened in between where the game just seriously screwed me with these pilot lockpicks when I was trying to do this objective. I mean, just holy crap, was that run bad. I think between the last run that actually went live and the run that could not be won, I've gone maybe like 3 or 4 for like 20 lockpick attempts. I'm seriously looking at more of a 1 in 5 of those working as opposed to the 1 in 2 that, you know, the statistics say is going to happen. It's just a really bad streak of RNG here. I really don't know what to say about it other than, you know, I'm just going to buckle down. I'm going to try to make one of these work. I just really need anything to give me, anything that helps me get more key drops, anything that helps me get more cash drops, you know, the items that I've been getting have been trash, and the chests just haven't been opening unless they're brown and contain poop. Maybe we'll be more lucky this time and actually be able to open some chests with the lockpicks, but right now I honestly feel like I'm picking the pilot for his ability to open what is supposed to be roughly half the chests despite not being able to use keys. But with the lockpicks not working, I'm not getting that benefit. Instead, I'm just playing as a worse character and, you know, still having to do the same level of difficulty because of the way the RNG's been playing out. It feels really bad. Morale is kind of low right now. Okay, so for a second I thought that was the sawed-off. I was gonna be salty because I was pretty sure the sawed-off is a brown chest item. But nah, the Winchester's fine. I am perfectly okay with using the Winchester. I am occasionally gonna spend some ammo looking for secret rooms. And since this is the first floor, I'm still gonna use the default pistol on the normal enemies just to conserve ammo a little bit. Once I have 2 guns, I generally don't worry so much about the conservation of ammo, just on account of... I hate you so much. Well, with that water barrel broken, our chances of going to the oubliette have just dramatically decreased. But yeah, I don't know. I'm kind of torn between the 2 differing philosophies on how to decide whether to use a gun or not. On the one hand, I feel like if you use your best gun all the time, you're more likely to survive. You actually have something to put ammo drops into all the time, and beyond that, you also you know, you're doing more damage. It helps keep morale high when you're able to like one-shot enemies. But conserving ammo means that even if you don't get ammo drops, you'll be able to use your best gun on boss fights. And both of those are important, you know. Having ammo to spend on boss fights versus, you know, having high morale and potentially having more HP when you start the boss fight. Now, admittedly, having HP is not so important on this run, because on this first floor, we actually do have the fairy in a bottle tint. So at the end of the floor, I'm just gonna go to that and I'm gonna get all my health back. I do think I'm just gonna suck it up and go for it since I've already seen both chests. The Trigger Twins, that's probably a good thing. I'm pretty decent at fighting the Trigger Twins. I don't think they're terribly hard as far as first floor bosses go. I've actually found myself thinking the Gatling Gull is the boss that I have the most trouble with on the first floor. which is strange because a lot of people think that it's the Bullet King, but the Bullet King may have actually been the very first enemy that I ever flawlessed. I just, for whatever reason, he's a lot closer in my mind to the style of traditional bullet hell games, and that makes him easier for my brain to process on account of having played a lot of that kind of game. So, I think now the plan is to use the Origami as the room clearer, and use the Winchester as a boss killer. Now, I'm gonna buy a key, and the idea here is that keys are probably rarer to come across than money is, and so I'm gonna go ahead and spend the money and buy one key in the place where they're as cheap as they're gonna get. You know, I'm never gonna find a key at a better value than what I just got that for. Let's see. I guess what I'm gonna do then is walk into this elevator room, shoot the walls, see if any of them crack. There's also that potential of the weird thing where, like, some guns that don't have the does not reveal secret walls or secret rooms text just actually don't reveal them anyway. No secret room here. Oh well. In my experience, you know, in these last couple of runs, keys are actually pretty rare to have show up on the secret rooms anyway. So, you know, it probably wouldn't have benefited the actual objective of the run all that much to find the secret room as it stands. I really don't know where I put the Origami in terms of, like, power ranking. I haven't had this gun a whole lot. It is nice that it pierces. Hold on. I mean, I know I got hit there, but... Okay, so the Origami is guided in terms of, it goes where your cursor is, it looks like. Which, potentially could lead to, you know, maybe being able to hit the same enemy multiple times, or, actually kind of prioritizing what gets hit when the shots pierce. I think that's a pretty good benefit to this gun. So we did get our HP back. We're able to move on. Do you breathe? No, you're not a mimic? Okay. We'll go ahead and just shoot this then. Take our junk. Maybe we can get lucky and find a junk salesman. Now, I'm doing this because I'm not sure the Origami can actually reveal secret rooms. I don't know, like the Snowballer can't. And that makes me think that there may be some kind of, like, internal design decision that guns that shoot, like, projectiles that would be considered soft, or, like, you know, anything that's not, like, a proper bullet may not be able to reveal secret rooms. I do wish they would actually put that text, you know, does not reveal secret rooms on every gun that doesn't reveal secret rooms. That would, I think, make life a lot easier. And there's a certain philosophy, it seems, of transparency, right? So in a game like The Binding of Isaac, the items just have, like, the short little tagline descriptions that often don't tell you much of anything about what the item does. Or, you know, you'll just get, like, tiers up. Some items don't tell you at all what they do, so there's, like, what is it, empty vessel, I guess, that the description is entirely worthless. It doesn't tell you anything about what the item does, you just have to figure it out. Whereas in Gungeon, okay, I'm going to take this key because I'm not going to spend the money to buy one. I think that if we spend the money to buy another key, then we wind up in a position where there's no chance of accruing enough money to actually accomplish the Elevator Man objective. So yeah, we're just gonna pick that up right now, not worry about forcing one to spawn on the shop. Anyway, you know, whereas in Gungeon, you have constant access to the Ammonomicon. You don't, like, have to go to the Gungeon wiki to see what something does for the most part, because it's it's pretty straightforward. The game is perfectly okay with transparency as regards item effects. And with that philosophy, I think that it's probably, it wouldn't be a bad idea to update it so that weapons that don't reveal secret rooms all have that text, as opposed to just the starting weapons having that text, because I know that I've probably missed secret rooms from not knowing that the weapon that I had was a weapon that can't reveal secret rooms. Anyway, this floor is actually going relatively well. You know, we've already picked up a key. The Origami has been holding it down despite being almost out of ammo. I don't know that we'll switch to the Winchester. I mean, its ammunition is pretty valuable for boss killing in my mind. But we'll try it out. But if I'm having to use too much ammo to kill enemies, then I'll probably switch it back to the starting pistol, just because I want to be able to use this on bosses. I don't want to be stuck fighting the second floor boss. Alright, so we have 5 keys and we're on the second floor. I think we can spend one to open a black chest. And we got Riddle of Lead, which appears to have given us 1 HP. Let's see, bestows unreasonable courage in the face of danger and the luck to survive it. Oh, great. After I was just talking about obscure item descriptions in other games, here we come across an item with a description that doesn't really tell me what it does. In any case, it did give me HP. I'm assuming since it's from a black chest, it's not just an HP up. It said, like, it gives luck, so maybe it improves item drops or something in addition to giving me HP. Maybe it's just like some kind of all stats up or something. But really, I'm just kind of speculating there. I'll have to go to the wiki after this run and check out the actual mechanical effects of it. Now, that shop did have the sling, which I would really, really like to have, as well as Table Tech Blank, but I think it would be too destructive to the objective that we're trying to accomplish on this run. So yeah, I got petrified. That's fine, because really I just did not want to stand in that poison. Okay, this is a bit of a rough one, but we made it through. Fortunately, the Winchester has really good range, so I actually am able to still shoot while standing far enough away to avoid getting shot. It's a problem with most shotguns in a boss fight like this. You know, you need to stand some distance away just to be able to actually have the reaction time to not get hit. And the Winchester, fortunately, has the range to let you do that, but most shotguns absolutely do not. Now, the Pox Cannon is really solid. I think this is probably our room clearer now. We'll check these walls. I don't know why I shot that one, because there's no chance of that. We'll come to the shop and use a blank. There it is. Okay. What do we got? Not breathing? Okay. The Icebreaker. Okay. So I figure probably the Icebreaker or the Pox Cannon are pretty solid room clearers. I think I'll start using the Pox Cannon. And if it runs out of ammo, then I'll switch over to the Icebreaker, use its ability to freeze enemies to give myself a little more leeway to not get hurt. But the Pox Cannon has pretty good base damage and then also poisons enemies and leaves poison on the ground when enemies die from it. So this gun is pretty powerful, and you can see between the base damage and the poison, it actually can one-shot the base enemies there. It's also nice that like every shot from the Pox Cannon poisons, in addition to it leaving the poison on the ground from enemies dying. And beyond that, not leaving poison on the ground with every shot, but just on where the enemies die, means that you have a little bit more control over where the poison goes when you're trying to use it for room clearing, which in my mind means that you're less likely to get hemmed in by your own poison. And, you know, that is a problem with status effects. You can just wind up accidentally trapping yourself, and it can cause you to get hit, either taking damage from the status effect or taking damage from an enemy hitting you because you're recklessly dodging, trying to get out of the status effect area. Long and short, the Pox Cannon is a really good weapon, and I'm glad to have had it drop on this run. Also, yeah, on account of the shots actually being poisoning, you can also poison flying enemies, which you saw there. That's a really valuable use of this gun, because generally flying enemies are immune to nigh upon everything that you would do. And, I mean, honestly, yeah, I'm gonna go ahead and fight the boss. So you can't poison the Dreadnought, so I'm gonna try using the Winchester. Whew! I rolled in the same direction that bullet was going, and I thought for a second that that was going to have sealed my fate and make me take damage. Fortunately, that wasn't the case. I was able to keep moving and get out of the way. But we will go ahead and shoot this guy and make him... you know, the crowd control is pretty important. So I went ahead and used a blank there because I had just gotten too close to the Dreadnought. I was going to get hit if I didn't. We'll go ahead and take... we will switch rabbits to the Icebreaker. Because you can actually... you can't freeze any boss in the game, but they do get cold, which slows down their bullets and also their rate of fire. Which, you know, gives you more leeway in being able to dodge, because you can more accurately see what's coming at you before it gets to you. So we did manage to get out of the way of that without using our second blank, which means that we still have it for whenever the situation inevitably arises that I find myself trapped. The Icebreaker doesn't have the best range in the world. That's one point against it, I think. So there was our last blank. Did that hurt me or not? I think that didn't hurt me. It just lit me on fire. Yeah, that is the case. So, that means that I'm actually still getting the master round here. The Proton Backpack is probably a pretty solid boss killer. We'll come on in here and... I don't know, I guess maybe check for secret rooms with the Icebreaker. I do actually think that it's less valuable for us than the Pox Cannon is. But yeah, so with that boss clear, we're just going to explore the rest of the floor to try and accrue, you know, money and keys and the like. Since we are still trying to get that objective. We have Flawless now, I guess 3 bosses? I think I got all those master rounds. So we started with 3 bosses and then 1 HP from the Riddle of Lead. Which means that we're on track to get, you know, this is a candidate run again for Lead God. I would love to unlock the Super Hot Watch, even though that's not priority here. And I do think that that's probably going to require... you know, an overpowered run, realistically. That's going to be one where I'm going to either need, like, some ridiculous combination of items, or to just get cloned so that I can get more than one copy of the same master round, which also lets you unlock it, because it's just that you get 5 master rounds. It doesn't really care if they're unique master rounds. And clone does let you keep your items. I really shouldn't have got hit there, but it's not that big a deal. We're still fine on HP. We've got quite a lot of HP and a decent amount of armor as well. So getting hit once is not the end of the world. Getting hit twice is getting much closer to the end of the world. We'll see if that poison, yeah, the poison will deal with them. And since it was just the 2 of them left, I wasn't super worried about trying to spend more ammo to get them killed faster. Let's see. I think I'll take Winchester ammo and then switch back to the Pox Cannon for general room clearing. Because even on enemies that can't be poisoned, the Pox Cannon has a really high base damage output. It's a little bit weird because the pox cannon, you know, ostensibly is like the marketing would have you think that it's just a poisonous version of the t-shirt cannon, but its base damage is actually far and above what the t-shirt cannon outputs. So this is really good. Having a Gunsling King room means that, of course, I'll have to put up money at first to make the bet, but you get that back if you complete the room. And or at least complete the room with his objective, but that was a really easy one. You just do it without dodge rolling and get your money back. And now I've got the Frost Giant, which can serve, I think that gun can serve multiple purposes. I think it's in general a pretty good weapon. We're gonna go ahead and shoot this chest now. It just exploded. Use the Winchester to check those. So we have a gun muncher, and I'm gonna go ahead and make use of that. I'm gonna throw in the origami since it's out of ammo and I have better weapons now. And I'm also gonna throw in this sawed-off because I hate the sawed-off. And we're gonna see what happens. This is, you know, potential to get a worthwhile gun. What are you? I'm not. Is this the tier gun? Yeah, this is the Binding of Isaac gun. So, that gun shoots tears. Think, like I said, think Binding of Isaac, but also those tears, in a nod to the game that it's referencing, actually keep whatever momentum you have when you shoot them. So if you're moving up and pointing sideways, the tears are going to go like diagonally up because they keep the upwards momentum from you running as well as the momentum of the direction that you fire the shot in. So we can't poison that. Whoa, okay. I almost didn't realize that there were guys down there in time. This bubble is really, like, freaking me out. Yeah, I was starting to get nervous about that. Like, the bubble was making me paranoid, man. Like, that could just pop at any time and try to do damage. So I'll check the walls with this Colt then. In general, I don't think that the Colt is really a run winner kind of gun. It's mediocre. I don't have any blanks anyway. I guess I can't find the secret room. So, given that, we'll just move on. I'm pretty worried about the financial situation. 2 keys and 2 more floors is, I think, reasonably likely. I mean, not guaranteed by any stretch, but I think there's a solid chance that we'll actually get this objective rattled out here. So we'll just... you know, one thing that I don't understand, the crossbow skeleton guys, right? They're immune to poison, but the ones that have the helmets on are not immune to poison. And as far as I can tell, that's supposed to be just the same enemy, right? But with a helmet on. And, you know, of course, a somewhat different shooting pattern. But, you know, if the one's immune to poison, why isn't the other one? Can you tell me that, Dodge Roll Games? I'm just curious about, like, the design decision there. Like, I actually do want to know why they made it so that one of those enemies is immune to poison and the other one isn't. Because, like, is there some lore reason, or is it just, like, a game balance thing? Because I don't understand that off the top of my head. I would expect them to both be immune to poison. So there's 1 key for this floor, which means that we're probably in a pretty good spot. We're also going to pass 200 casings. We need 300 total, if I recall correctly. So passing 200 on this floor means that we'll only need to get... we're still pretty early on in this floor, so I'd say we're going to need to get somewhere in the, like, 70 range on the next floor. Actually, these guys could drop quite a bit of cash. They tend to be pretty decent payouts, anywhere from like 5 to 10. Actually taking longer to die than I thought. That caused me to get hit because I expected them to just crumple. And neither of them dropped any money, those scumbags. So we're just gonna try to navigate this trap room as seamlessly as possible. Try to get in between the shots and just roll over the last bit, and we made it through. So it looks like we probably got a 2-stack of treasure rooms here. How is Charmed Bow in that tier of chest? I mean, come on. The Charmed Bow is not very good in my opinion. It doesn't do very much damage, and while it can charm enemies, it's not a 100% to charm enemies, even though even if you charge it up all the way, it doesn't 100% charm enemies. So the reason that I got all hesitant there is I'm trying to decide whether it's worth the money to do the YV shrine. And I guess I'll just see how we're faring money-wise at the end of the floor, because that YV shrine is just insanely powerful. The multi-shot can push a lot of weapons over the edge. It can cause like big powerful single shot weapons to decimate bosses when YV procs. But you know, you have to pay it money. And that's the problem with this run right now, is I'm trying to accrue money to give to the elevator man. So I think the idea, right, is if I have 230, that's where I'm gonna say, yeah, I can probably make the requirement for the money just off of what I earn on the next floor. So I think I'm gonna base my decision on YV on how much I earn in excess of 230. Now, admittedly, that is kind of just an arbitrary value that I decided on, but there is something to be said about, like, you know, the early floors, you get something in line with like 50, 60 casings per floor, and later on the floors get bigger and you expect to get more from completing them because of it. So there's a little bit of a basis, just not the most in the world. I don't actually have real numbers off the top of my head for the you know, like average amount of casings that you get per floor on each floor. That would actually be something good to look up, but I don't know if anybody has like done that kind of intensive gungeoneering research to figure that out. Yeah, the skeleton man, the skeleton mans I think are a lot easier when they're the ones that are spawned from shamans, because then you just take down the shaman and the skeleton man goes down. We'll go ahead and see. So this is floor 4. It can't be the wallmonger because we're coming in from the top. It's the kill pillars, which appear to not be poisonable. So I'll try the frost giant. It does decent damage. I wouldn't bank on me flawlessing this. The 4th floor bosses are really hard. Wallmonger is probably the one that I'd have the easiest time with. So I went ahead and used a blank there because they were getting really close to me and those bullets were coming out more or less on top of where I was. Okay, so we managed to dodge through that round. If I destroy that one, this attack ends. So they're back to just hopping around. I do think that generally after this, they go to the left side. Whew, that was close. Okay, so we need to switch guns. Let's do Winchester. Sure. Ah, crap. I tried to hit the blank button there. I did. I just didn't get to it fast enough. I'm honestly surprised that the blank didn't pop. But that does mean that this is not going to be the run for Lead God. Once again, though, you know, we're inhibiting ourselves. That's not really surprising. The next shot or two ought to do it. So that's 4th floor. 1, 2, 2 casings. Fantastic. What are you? Wow! The nail gun this late in the game? Holy crap. You must hate me, game. That is terrible. Let's go explore. More money means more chance to actually get this objective. And besides that, there's also the chance that I could get another key drop, and I wouldn't want to miss the room that happens to be on. Yeah, we'll go ahead and try to poison those thwomps, just in case I have to move up through there for something. Because I could see that happening, especially with all these, like, rush down guys. Fortunately, I was in a roll when he touched me there, which means that I didn't get damaged by it. I actually damaged him, and then the knockback from him touching me bounced me off of him, and I was not in contact with him by the time the invincibility from the roll ended. We're gonna just try to poison him, and yeah, that was enough. I think I've got a decent conception now of like how many shots I need to put onto each enemy type to make them actually die from the poison. And I think that's the ideal way to use the pox cannon, is to say like, okay, so, you know, this enemy takes this many shots to kill, including the poison. And so you don't want to shoot them any extra times. You just want to shoot them the requisite number of times and then stop. So I'm not interested in spending any money. I'm gonna skip the YV shrine. I know what I said, but I'm concerned that I'm gonna have to buy a key to make this work. And I don't want to not be able to do that because I spent money on the YV shrine. I don't care if I win this run. I care if I get this objective done so that I never have to think about it ever again. So he doesn't have a key. We'll just blank in here, and yeah, that was the secret room. I mean, it's just one armor. It doesn't help towards objectives or anything, but hey, you know, an armor's an armor. We didn't have it before. But yeah, I'm just worried that I'm gonna wind up having to purchase a key on the next floor and not getting one as a drop. And if that's the way this works out, I don't want to come up like 10 casings short and say, darn it, I shouldn't have used the YV statue, it's ruined everything. Fortunately, we're in a really good spot HP-wise here. I don't think there's much chance of dying on this floor like we did previously. This run has actually gone a whole lot better for me. A lot more chests have actually opened with the lockpicks this time around. Which means that I've been able to accrue more power over the course of the run than I was able to before. Looks like we're only 41 casings away from greatness. If we can get a key drop in addition to that, then we'll be set. So there's 10 right there. The hammers on these rooms, man, they the ones where the hammers track you especially are kind of hard to deal with when you've also got to like dodge enemies and such. So I felt like there I was more or less in a situation where it was either like dodge into the pit or get hit. There was probably a way out, but I didn't see it. Yeah, we'll go ahead and shoot him and get that done. Okay, those guys just shot themselves. This was a secret room, though, so losing that armor got me into here. That chest didn't have anything. Or, well, it probably had something. I just couldn't unlock it. But, so that did get me the secret room, at least, so I got some benefit out of getting hit there. To be honest, I may be able to go on down to bullet hell on this run, even after doing the elevator man objective. And that's not something you expect in a run. And I don't have any, like, super powerful guns. I have decent guns. But I don't have, like, the Mega Hand or the Heroin or anything. And I could have sworn that I was still standing on that. Like, watch the playback on that one. See if I was actually off the edge when it skipped me over there. Because I could have sworn I was standing on, like, the red lining of the edge rather than having actually walked off. Man, I don't know what the deal was there. So we're We're just kind of slowly accruing the money that we need for success on this run. I don't know where the enemy is, so I was just kind of shooting arbitrarily. No. Oh, so it's an Iron Maiden and hammers. That's actually pretty rough. Yeah, I got hit. I just was, my eyes were on the Iron Maiden and I wasn't able to track where the shots from the hammers were going well enough. And I mean, that's on me. It's a mistake on my part. But I think that it's a reasonably, it's one that you would expect on a room like this. So we're only 7 casings away. A key drop would be lovely so that I don't have to purchase one right here. Because if I have to buy one, these are 34. That's not too bad. We've got a lot of floor left to go here, which means that we could probably get like 34 more than we need on this floor. I could see it. Right, so those guys just respawn whenever they fall in pits. In what is probably their most frustrating feature. Okay, so he dropped 10, and there was another 1 on this room. We're in pretty good shape. We're not going to fight the dragon yet. We're going to explore and try to either get a key drop or get enough money to buy one. Because I gotta admit, I'm getting a little worried. The more big enemies spawn and drop a bunch of money, the better I'm going to feel about this. Because I think that our best bet is just to fight a bunch of like skeletons or like the higher level gun nuts and have them drop, you know, 10-ish each. Because the like gaining 2 from that feels pretty bad. So this room's a pain. You can stand in the middle of these different moving platforms, and that means that you won't actually move with them if you're there. I'm gonna try and go up here and confirm that HP. Then just go on over here. I'm disappointed. So that guy that was off screen was that was one of the big enemy types. He just happened to not actually drop much in the way of money, which is unfortunate RNG, I guess. I really need to not be dropping enemies into the pit. I mean, that guy didn't drop any casings anyway. But the last thing that I need right now is to lose casings by just cliffing enemies like that. Let's see. Icebreaker? I think this actually does less damage than the pox cannon. Yep, nothing on that room. Maybe that last round does a lot more, but... so that's 1 casing on this room anyway. Yeah, like if you don't actually shoot them with that last round, they don't take much damage at all from that. Okay, so that's a no-go on this chest. Drop a key, man. Drop a key. That's not a key. Oh, I'm so scared that this is going to be one of those runs where it's like, man, we were literally, like, we were right there and it didn't happen. I feel like that's the story that's going to get told. Oh, that casing bounced back up into the land of the living. Oh, we're golden. Okay. So that was, so we're up to 319. We need another 15 casings. Just don't fail me now, game. I'm not seeing any drop from this room yet. That's it's got me worried. There's one. 13 more. That's what we need. See, the problem is, right, the dragon doesn't drop any. And we're coming up on, this is probably the last room. So this may be this may very much be a function of whether this guy right here actually drops a casing when he dies. And he didn't. So, none at all in that room, huh? 1. We're gonna be seriously that close. Yes! We did it! I can smoke bomb and then steal a key. You know, I mean, it gives curse, but whatever. We got there. Oh man, that was. Hey buddy, yeah, I've got 306 keys. Yeah, give him the hegemony credits. That's it, last stop. We're finished with Elevator Man. Whew. I did not think that was gonna work out. That clutch smoke bombs lockpick, that sealed it. Ugh. Alright, so we're going to the Dragon fight now. I'm gonna use the proton backpack at first. Unfortunately, the Dragon is not in fact a ghost, so he doesn't take the bonus damage from it, but any beam weapon that has the power to like stay on an enemy like this, so you can see, you know, once you hit an enemy with it, the proton backpack homes in on them after like the first contact. So I'm just gonna, you know, keep this button held down. There we go. I finally got that blank timing worked out a little bit, so I can actually stop him from throwing the daggers. Those are probably the most frustrating thing in the Dragon fight. I honestly think they're the only attack that's worth a blank to get rid of. Everything else can be dodged relatively easily, even though I did get hit by something. Those skulls can be frustrating too. I mean, I've already been hit, so I'm just not worried about it. I can tank a couple of hits. I mean, we could go to the Lich on this run. I plan on, what gun should I use? I think I'll bring out the Colt. Try it for a little bit, see how much damage. It's respectable. It's not the best in the world by any stretch, but it is in fact doing damage. Like, I can see the decrease in health with every shot, which is more than you can say about some guns at this stage in the game. Okay, so we're down to the Dragon's Heart. So we at least know that we're going to get a Dragon win here, and we've accomplished really a rather difficult objective. A very late game objective at that. And even still, this is a run that's, you know, at least capable of going on to bullet hell. This isn't a run where I'm just like completely despondent and think that there's no way that I could possibly beat bullet hell. Especially since what I plan to do is go back into the shop, use smoke bombs again, and steal another item. Probably those explosive rounds. And I mean, you know, 2 curse isn't, I think, that big of a deal. You're not going to see that many more jammed enemies than you'd already see in bullet hell from having 2 curse. Admittedly, like, all it can take is 1 big bad jammed enemy in a difficult room. Like, especially there's a room that spawns, I think it's like an Iron Maiden and 2 small jammed enemies, and if you're cursed and the Iron Maiden winds up being jammed, that room turns into just a disgusting nightmare fuel. You can knock the 2 smaller jammed enemies into the pit, but you know, that's okay. So anyway, poof. Then I'm just gonna walk over here and grab those explosive. Oh, okay. I guess you can't steal twice from the same shop, and so now I can't purchase anything. But it's not like it matters anyway, because I mean that's the last shop in the game. There was no way that I was going to be able to get any more value out of these smoke bombs anyway, other than being able to walk into a room and see what I'm dealing with without having the enemies all aggro the moment I go in. That can let you get set up a little bit better. You can find a good starting point to the room, because there are some rooms where if you walk in and then you stay in the doorway, you can get boxed in and find yourself in quite a bit of trouble. And with this, you can actually just decide when the room starts on your own terms. I classify this item as pretty much being the same as the cardboard box. There's basically no difference at all in how they work. I don't know if smoke bombs actually makes things stop shooting at you while you're in a room, but I know the cardboard box doesn't. I may try smoke bombs for that purpose. I mean, it would make sense from the perspective of, you know, like, at least in pop culture, the idea is that, you know, oh, the ninja throws the smoke bomb onto the ground and then he's gone. But from a game design standpoint, I don't know if they would do that. Man, I got hit there. I got boxed in a little bit. See, that's exactly the kind of thing that I was talking about that maybe wouldn't happen if you actually used smoke bombs going into a room. Not like they're charged right now or anything, so I can't, but... yeah, I'm starting to think that this is probably going to be one of those runs where you get whittled down on bullet hell, where you're just not able to output enough to finish. And this is the room that I was talking about, where if the Iron Maiden winds up being jammed too, like you might as well just pack it up and go home at that point. So at the very least, that wasn't a dead end. One of the worst things in bullet hell is having gone through like the entirety of a path and then finding out only at the end of it that it's a dead end and you've wasted your time. And, well, more than your time, you've wasted your HP and ammo going that direction. Ah, man. I shouldn't have been hit there. Yeah, so we'll use smoke bombs on our way into the next room, I guess, and see if we can be cloaked and use the ability to select a starting point to our advantage. Yep, and that did make us able to kill one of those books before it did anything. So, whew! I honestly, I should have been hit. That was really bad on my part, and then I just lucked out. Is it just this jammed book now? Okay. That's not so bad. He takes a ton of hits, though, apparently. Okay, moving on. Hopefully this eventually leads to the boss fight, because if this whole path has been for nothing, then that's going to be quite a big waste of resources. I mean, I guess that's the trouble with bullet hell, because there's no friendly NPCs or shops or anything. There are no treasure chests on bullet hell. Bullet hell really is, in my opinion, unless you're really, really good at the game and can just fight through bullet hell with a starting pistol, bullet hell is a gear check more than anything, I think. If you make it down here and you have good enough weapons and you have enough ammunition for them, then you're golden. But if you don't, then you'll just get whittled down slowly on account of not being able to have enough ammo to keep going through the floor. Because, you know, you may even get to the Lich, but once you're there, you won't have any ammo to fight him, or you'll wind up going through rooms without any ammunition. So here, I think I'm going to take pox cannon ammo, and we're just not going to talk about that thing my voice did when I said here. I don't know what that was, and you'll never get to know what it was either. Because that's never, ever going to be mentioned ever again. I was really hoping I could freeze that guy and make him just never be able to take a shot. That would have been ideal for me. Let's see. So, smoke bomb. I think I'm gonna just try to pox cannon this guy right off the edge. I can't believe he was able to shoot. Both of them were, actually. I guess these enemies don't have a lot in the way of a startup time on their shots, and that means that they can just kind of arbitrarily hit you, which greatly, I think, lessens the usefulness of smoke bombs, because, you know, as soon as I became visible, they were just like, yep, shooting you now. You know, earlier in the game, enemies tend to have more of a lead time on their attacks. You can actually see like an animation playing out, like their gun swells up and everything before the shot gets fired. And okay, so these guys are like bound and don't come after you unless they get hit by something, as far as I understand it. So we're just gonna, never mind. They just come at you anyway. I was wrong. Wrong. So very wrong. And they shoot bullets. And this whole adventure was for naught. So right, the fact that this is a dead end makes me think that that we're like almost for sure not gonna make it on this run. Just on account of like resource drain, you know? I mean, we've been slowly losing HP this whole time. And the longer that we have to stay down here, the more we're gonna lose. Because you don't really get any gains here. Oh yeah, thanks game. Thanks for giving me Coin Crown now that it's too late to be useful in any capacity whatsoever when I could have used it on like this whole run up to this point. That's like the perfect item for accomplishing the objectives that I have on this run, and the game's just like, well, now that you're already done with all those objectives, we'll give it to you. Whatever. We got it done. We never have to do Elevator Man again, so I don't have to be salty about that anymore after this episode. Yeah, go ahead and finish you off, please. There we go. So, this is going up to a place I've already been to. I'm actually going to try down here. Going to say that maybe I was on the right track and just took a wrong turn rather than having gone in the wrong direction altogether in the first place. That's just me being hopeful because I would like to at least see the Lich. It feels a little bit better getting killed by the last boss in the game than it does getting killed by some mook on your way there. So this is dangerous. With this guy being jammed, one hit will kill me outright. Which I wasn't standing close enough to the table to flip it. That's my plan was to flip the table, but oh well, we got Elevator Man's objective done, which means that now we can in the future actually, you know, not have to worry about that. Our objectives now are just based on how well we play the game. I'm gonna go ahead and pop over here and talk to the Elevator Man. See what item I get. The AK-47. But let's see. This also ought to, yeah, this unlocks Boss Rush, which I may actually do Boss Rush for you guys on the next run that I do, instead of doing a normal run, since it's something unique, something that I haven't been able to do yet. But for now, I'll see you guys next time. Like, comment, and subscribe if you want to see more.